Alright, so this is going to be a video on doing a fabric collage on a character. So the character that I'm going to attempt to do is this Mew character from Pokemon. So we're going to attempt to do a Mew fabric collage. And it's kind of like a cat being, I guess. The tail doesn't quite look like a cat. I could get the line drawing, and then I looked at other images to kind of see what the shading would be. So this stuff that I've done here with the orange ink, that's actually kind of the shading line, so all that stuff is going to be shaded. Shades for the ears and kind of the lower part of the mouth, the neck. There's a little bit on the tail right here too. This character seems to be a really light pink character, and then the shaded bits are more of kind of like maybe a medium pink. So I was going through my scraps. I found these that are definitely kind of in that light pink. This is more of like almost a peach, but I think it could work in a pink. This right here, pale pink polka dot, I think that's a good candidate. This one's kind of cool with the green, but probably not going to do it this time. I have some of this fabric that I would love to find a use for, where it's these little ballerina shoes. It's fabric that my mom bought when the girls were small, when my daughters were small. Here's another pink polka dot. It's slightly darker than this other pink polka dot, and the polka dots are closer together, so that might be a pretty good candidate. I really like this chevron, so I might go with the chevron. We'll see. This, I think what I have of it is not quite wide enough for what I need to do, but it is an interesting possibility. The anchors and these buoys, that might make it read a little bit darker than it is. And then I have some good choices for that medium pink that I would use for the shading. This is left over from a jelly roll here. This is pretty good. This is also something else I had left over from a project. I think that would be really great. You know, so I have some good options. This is a little fat quarter. It was obviously some kind of a pet themed type of a thing. And here's also a fat quarter that I picked up that has kind of like nice little swirls with a bit of sheen on it. So I have some nice little choices here. And then I noticed that the eyes are a blue, and if you want to make the eyes of something really kind of stand out and glow, then you might want to make the background be a similar color as those eyes. And so I'm thinking for my background I'm going to go with blues. So I went ahead and I found all these fabrics that had some similar kind of shades of blue but in differing values. So I have that, and here's a batik, and it's got a little bit of a green with it, but it also kind of changes the values of the blue. Another batik that's got a couple of different blues. This is a remnant that is a really nice light value shade. Now we're getting into more of a green, but it's also kind of a bluish green. Here's kind of a medium. This would be a dark, and I think that's actually the darkest one that I have. This is also something that's dark, a really nice batik. This was more kind of in sort of the medium to light medium. This was definitely a medium. And then this cute fabric with the butterflies was more of like a dark. And what I ended up doing, I made up my background to look like this. So you can see that I have my light values more kind of around here, and then down around here, and all along here and up here is like the dark values and kind of like medium value that I used. And the reason why I made it off-center like that is because this character is off-center, so I think it's going to look really nice. And in thinking about what kind of shade that I want to make those eyes. I'm thinking that I'm either going to go with this fabric because it's got an interesting kind of a texture to it. I really like that texture. Or I'm going to go with this because, again, it's got a nice texture, and then I really like the hue of that, and I think that that would really stand out and bring the eye in to noticing those eyes within that character and on the background. So for my background, it was pretty simple and straightforward. I ended up cutting up a lot more than I needed. I cut up 3.5-inch strips of each of the fabrics that I needed, and I made 3.5-inch squares. And so as you can see here, I cut all of those up into squares. And then I just would take 2 of the fabrics, had them right sides up, and then I just cut them, and I wasn't looking to cut exactly in the middle or in a particular spot, and so I just cut them somewhere along there. I would take like 4 of these fabrics together, cut them the same, take the first fabric, put it underneath, and then go ahead and sew them up together, and then finger press those to the side, and then turn them to the side, and then go ahead, take that sort of a thing like that, and then you just make another kind of a cut that way. Those I just lined up 2 of them, and that way I could get all of these different patterns that you see in this background. So it's a pretty simple technique, but as you see, it actually looks pretty complicated. And the regular person who doesn't realize how that's done is going to look at this and be like, wow, that's so many tiny little pieces. And really you're working off of 3.5-inch pieces that become these 3-inch pieces that all get sewn together. And this is just 20 of those squares. So in the next bit here, regarding this fabric collage, I need to be able to trace this pattern. I am going to use the freezer paper here. It's Reynolds plastic coated freezer paper. This is a quilter's favorite. You can even see here that it says quilt appliques. Draw a stencil on the freezer paper, pen to the fabric, cut and press. You don't have to pin it because the plasticky side, when you iron it, it will actually fuse to the paper, and it's more of a temporary fuse because it comes up really easily. And this is the reason why quilters love it. So it's just a matter of putting my little character down here. I don't think I'm going to tape this down. I think I can do this without taping it down. And I'm just doing a real quick kind of drawing to this guy. I'm not trying to have perfection. I am just trying to get this to be something that I can work with. And this bit, these bits here, like where you see kind of a hip bone, I guess, kind of like the belly right there, inside thigh area, that kind of stuff, and like the arms, that kind of thing is definitely going to be something where I come in later and stitch that rather than try to do any kind of a special tiny little piecing for that. Now if this were a larger thing, I might actually make up my own double folded bias tape. So I'm gonna draw this little guy. Pokemon, Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. I have no idea how the little thing goes. Let's see, and then I want to draw the little eyes, cute little eyes. Kind of gives that distinctive little Japanese anime concept. Okay, and then I want to get the shading, so let's get that shading. This is my youngest daughter's favorite pokey critter, so I don't really know about these things. But I try to be a good mom and do things that the kiddos like. So we have like a good start here. Let's see, I think I'll go ahead and do that bit of it too. Not bother with the little, I guess that'd be irises of the eyes, I don't know. But this would be the color part, this would be the whites of the eye. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So now I have this little guy cut out, but I'm thinking to make my job easier, I'm gonna actually make up little bits to cut out of those actual shade pieces. So let's see, I think I'm gonna call that 1, this will be 2, call that one 3, 4. I think I'm gonna make this part of it be 5, and then this will be 6, and that'll be 7. So we got that one, and then we're gonna get this little guy here, like that. We're gonna have that one kind of be 1, and that's it. And that, did I even have a 2? Oh, I had a 2. Okay, so we'll call that guy number 8. Okay. Where he's just kind of going up to the mouth there, so get rid of that. Let's see, let's do that bit up where it's kind of like his mouth and his little chin area, and that, and I think we called that 3. And then this little shaded bit here on the ear that I incidentally forgot to put into the other thing. And then this little thing here, let's see, like that. We're going to kind of use the actual body on that. So kind of that little bit of the tail. And then that right there is 7. So let's see, we got, oh, and then we still got 2. Okay. And then we got this right here. Let's see. Oh, and I guess maybe I need to do an extra little bit. Maybe I have 9 of these things. So I guess since I did, okay, we'll just extend, we can extend little 5 like that. That'll work. Hopefully that's not going to be too crazy skinny on the fabric pieces, and we will see. And to finish off this piece, I'm just doing a light satin stitch. Take it slow around the corners here. And always make sure that the needle is on whatever the outer part of the applique. So there it's on the outer. Gently ease it that way. And do that again. Now I can get down around where this little guy's paws are. Let the machine do the work. And put it to the outside there. Okay. I'm just letting this machine do the work. And then when I have an inside corner, I actually want the needle to be in towards the patchwork applique. and then pivot, and that way the needle will go out and not end up having your stitch go rogue. But you can see I have a pretty good line here that's tracing out for this little collage character here.